Hello, sunshines. How art thou? How art thou? I am here. Your what am I? Graphghan Diva, creative stitching diva. Like everybody call me creative diva, Shauna, like whatever. But I'm here, and who else is here? My cousin, Lauren. How art thou, Lauren?
Hey, hey, hey. Hello, I'm
Hey.
wonderful.
Yes, I'm excited because I actually wanted you to be on my podcast last seasons when I first
Mm.
started my whole entire thing. And it was just like so much going on because I already had like a lineup of people. I had a
Mhm.
lineup of everybody. So I was like, you know what? No, we're going to start this whole season off right and we're going to have you come on, family. I thought that it would be great, especially since I had on Jean on. On Jean came on like three
Yeah, yeah.
times. On Jean
You
came
know,
on three.
she'll talk. She'll definitely say some stuff if you needed to.
Uh, say some stuff. Do you know that she was like everybody asked for her?
I believe it. I
Like
believe
they
it.
were recommending like your next show should be about this and your aunt should come on and talk about this. I was like, yeah, she said some off the wall stuff, but you know how she is.
Listen, I ain't even gonna hold you. Let me go ahead and just say for the record, you know, everybody like to have their opinions about folks, right? And we already know what they like to try to call her in and out. In my opinion, based on the conversations we've had and the vibe I always get from her, I was like, if that's what the crazy aunt looked like, then sign me up. Sign me up.
She is the crazy. Well, for me, I can't speak for anybody else. My aunt Jean is the crazy aunt, and it's like you either take her or you leave her, right? I will take her because she has never, ever, ever done me wrong. She's never, ever like did anything to me to make me question her. If anything, she always helped. And I
She like
guess
having a good
sometimes
time. That's she like having fun.
man, I don't know about fun. I never like. Well, then again, yeah, because she called me, be like, "Hey, girl."
She was no, I'll never forget the year she was pranking everybody at the family reunion. Well, I don't know if
OMG.
you was there. I feel like that was right around the time you had Idris or something. It was like you had a brand new baby. Something was going on, so you might not have been there. But she was going around. She was giving people a pen to like sign her little guest book. She had like a little notebook, and it like buzzed in your hand or something.
Oh, and
She
I
had
bet you
a
she laughed, didn't she? She every time you did, she
shorty.
would laugh.
He was getting everybody, and they was like, "Gene, just keep." I was like, "Cause it's hilarious. Cause y'all sitting around being bored."
And to be honest, I think that's why she's like on point right now, and because she's having fun. She actually has that I don't give up life. Really, to be honest, she has
Yeah,
that I don't care life. But anyway, before we go on and on, because we could go on and on about Aunt Jean, I
right.
want to know, besides you being my cousin, who are you? Who is Lauren? And where did Bimmy come from? Because I only know you as Lauren.
Right, right. Well, peace. What's up? My name is Lauren, aka Bemi, which derives from Oyak Bemi. So Oyak Bemi is a Yoruba name that was gifted to me, bestowed upon me. Oh, probably like 14 years ago now, which is so crazy when I think about it. Like, it's not like people be like, I don't know what, and I don't discount Lauren at all. You feel me? I'm always gonna be Lauren from Jersey.
Mhm.
Um, but whole time, like, just what I know about the name and what I know about the significance of the time that it showed up in my life and where I was when I decided, like, you know what? I literally one day on Facebook was like, just call me Bemi. Like that was it was literally that simple. That day I was like, you know what? Just call me
Call
Bemi.
you Bimmy.
Just leave it there.
I think it's hard for family though.
Well, and so that's the thing is like I'm absolutely Lauren and like it's not even like I'm changing my name or you know exiting out of a chapter of my life. I just feel like at a certain point I was in such a mentality that was like, you know what? I need to just be about me, right? Like I need to know who I am And so that meant I had to disconnect from like, okay, who everybody knows Lauren to be, who everybody knows Malia's mom to be, who everybody knows, you know what I'm saying, Cam's
Mhm.
girl to be at that time, whatever. It was just like, let me just be me.
Be you, right? Just do you.
Yeah,
And that's fine. I actually love that. I love that.
yeah.
Um, Not only do I love it, I think that it's so many other people that I met that feels the same exact way because they learning more about themselves, they learning their spirituality, and if that's who you feel like that is going to give you strength, and because your name is powerful, it's very very
Mm.
very very powerful. So
Which is why I've never felt the need or desire to reject Lauren. Like, I love my name. My mother gave me that name. It's an '80s. I'm an '80s baby. You feel me?
Lauren,
Like,
yeah, right.
yeah, like I rock with it. So it was never that for me, and isn't that? It just, I had to tap into finding out some deeper stuff about myself and others. So,
So, well, this is a question. I don't know. I'm assuming that's for me, but you can answer too. I have a question. When doing a graphghan, do you drop the yarn in the front or the back?
it's funny because I'm actually currently working on. So,
Hit it from the back now.
mhm. Well, I don't know about you. I dropped mine to the front.
I
I,
drop mine to the back, and
I
the reason
pulled from the back.
why
I dropped to the front.
you pull from the huh?
So like my yarn, this is my working side. So these are
Uh-huh.
my bundles waiting for me, and these are the ones that are done. These the shorties that I already finished. They over here.
Oh wait, so the ones that you're done and you don't need them anymore, you just leave them to the that's your front or that's your back?
Yep. Yep. I'm like,
That's your
which way am I going? That's my front. Lord, can I find the camera?
front.
Okay. Corrector, get me right.
That's your
Okay.
front.
That's my front. That's where I'm at. So this is my working.
Oh,
So these are the
okay.
working one. This the one I'm working from right now. So it's back here. Then I bring it to the front and grab my next one.
Oh, okay. I just
That's what
have
I
a
do.
habit of doing everything in the back.
Mhm,
And the only reason why I do that is because like this for instance, everything
mhm.
is in the back. Like all of my it just so happens that I didn't get rid of any weaving, but I have everything to the back because I noticed throughout the years when I would put it towards the front, sometimes it distorted my image depending on what I was doing. Like not
Mhm,
everything. Like something like this, it may
mhm.
not, but depending on what I would do it would distort my image. So I would have to take weave it to the back, and it started distorting my image. So I just learned how to do everything to the back, and I just felt like it was cleaner to me. And like sometimes when I take progress pitch, I like to take a progress picture of just everything without
Mhm.
strings. So I don't know, but it's all preference. Like it's not no yet right or wrong answer. It's preference. As long as it comes out looking good, it's preference.
And you know what? Look, as you saying it, I'm sitting here like, I might try that. I think the only reason why I don't is because I feel look, I'm sitting here looking at like, why don't I do it that way? Because when I move into my next stitch, I feel like I don't get a tight enough grip on the on the
Oh, okay. I see what you're
you get
saying.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the reason why I started my pop lock and drop because I felt like I was not getting that right grip. So me doing the pop lock and drop, it just made me be
Oh,
able
and
to
then
lock it in and grab it more, and it's more of a tight what is this color change. So the color change does
mhm.
not have like any holes or gaps or anything in it. It's just it looks like that's how the yarn formed as I went. But
Look, you got me
again,
over
that's
here about to
years.
try. You got me over here about to try this now.
That's years of me trying it though. Like it, because in the beginning, I've never done that. In the beginning, I just did what I could do best. And if it looked okay, it looked okay.
Yeah. Whole
Uh,
time.
let me see. I was wondering because I dropped in the front. I was wanting to try the back because it does kind of mess up the image. Yeah, I only like I said, it doesn't do that with everything. Like for something like this, this is a solid. This is solid, so it may not
Yeah.
distort this, but there have been times where I would look at it and I see it. Maybe nobody
Yeah.
else will, but I see it, and it will bother me. So that's why I decided to do it from the back, and it helped. It helped a lot, and so that's what I've been doing. But I also want to know from you, Miss Lauren Bemi. I want to know, when did you start crocheting? Because we started crocheting from the same bloodline.
We did. Which I'm still so tickled by because of course we sitting here talking about Aunt Jean, but it's not actually your bloodline, which is so fun to me.
That's crazy. But I say
Do
the
you ever
bloodline
think about
because
that?
that's your grandmother's
Right, right,
sister.
right. No,
And,
that's what I'm
and
saying. It's the
that is
same
crazy.
people, but
Yeah.
it's not like y'all have meshed this family through my grandparents, which
Mhm.
like there's but what's also crazy about that though is there's a few of y'all who consider each other cousins, and there's other people who have no idea who like I would be talking about somebody and I'm like, yeah, so and so, and they'll look at me
Oh, and
like
they don't know.
because they don't
That's
right. So
crazy.
some of my cousins don't know
Yeah.
other chunks of the family where whole time some of them are like, "Oh yeah, those are cousins."
Wow.
So,
Like I take it. I sometimes because
mhm.
Aunt Jean will say niece, but then she'll say like she'll get real with me. Like you know how she is. She'll get real and be like, yeah, you we're not family, you know. And I'm like, okay, Aunt Jean, I know.
Right, but you my auntie.
You ain't gotta say it. Like she
Yeah,
only said that
exactly.
one time though. It was,
Yeah,
and I don't. It was a reason why she said it, but it was only one time she said it. Any other time she says my niece, my niece,
yeah.
my niece. But
But
we
I
blood,
learned
we blood,
these cheeks show it.
we
Uh-huh.
blood. Yeah.
But yeah, so I learned initially when I was 6. So actually, my mother was my very first teacher.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
but of course, as you know, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 6. And so when she was ill and going for treatments and things like that, Grandma Joyce, my father's mother, Aunt Jean's sister, was the one who would show me more techniques. So she was the one who like really started getting into teaching me the stitches and the granny square, which I am ridiculously obsessed with to this day. Um, and so yeah, that's when I started really like playing with the idea of making different stuff. I remember making like a granny star shaped pillow because I was doing sewing in home ec and I
Oh,
knew how to crochet and I was like, oh wait, I can make a pillow. So yeah, that's when I
mhm.
learned. So 34 years ago when I was 6 years old.
Oh wow. And
Mhm.
I myself, I started what 2011, and
Okay.
yeah, I started in 2011, and
Okay.
you may not notice, but you were kind of like that push to get me to crochet. You
Really?
never knew that, huh?
No.
So remember the market bag?
I do, which is so funny because they keep popping up on my memories right now because like I was making them, I guess like July, like I whipped up a bunch of them during this time and was taking pictures, but it's like years ago. It's the house I lived in when Malia was a baby.
Yeah, this was like
Yeah,
maybe 2010,
like
2011.
13, 14, because she was born in 2011.
So the reason why I say
Or 11. No, because it was, we moved in that house that year. So yeah, it could have been 11,
And the
12.
reason why I say that is because I remember exactly where I was at, and
Mhm.
that was before I started crocheting.
Yeah.
I was not crocheting at that time. And so I'm saying this to say, because I did not know how to crochet. I had no idea what it was, what a hook was, nothing. I didn't know any
Yeah.
of that. So when
Yeah.
I saw the market bag, I was like, yes. But in the creative head that I have, what did I said, can you make this? Can you put this on it? I said, can you put What did I want? Oh, my chapter name. I wanted the
Mhm.
OES on it. I wanted the star. So if you think about it, and I started thinking about this like a couple of weeks ago. If you think about it, I had graphghan in my head way back then.
Now that you're talking about it, I'm like, didn't we? I remember these conversations. I remember that.
This
That's
was so
wild
long
because
ago.
that really was.
And
'Cause
so
we
I
were,
kept saying,
yeah,
I was like, I like that bag, but I'm so like, I'm really different. Like, I can't have what somebody else have. I just can't do it. So I'm like, I don't
yeah,
care. I want my chapter's name on it. I want the colors, the different colors on the handle. And you did
yeah.
it. The thing is, you did it in cross stitch. I would have never thought
I
of that.
remember that.
I would have
That's
never thought
so
of doing it in cross
wild.
stitch.
I was probably stressed out doing it too because I can't. I'm like, the couple times I've tried doing that now, I'm like, what is this? What am I?
I you know what though? I'm gonna
That's
pull the
so
bag
wild.
up. I should have
Please
pulled it up
do.
beforehand, but I'm gonna pull it up because I remember that bag and I actually had some people ask for it. Um the thing is, it was a lot to do. It was a lot because you
I'm
cross
like, what you telling me? I'm like, really? I did all of that. Please send me pictures of that. That's crazy.
yeah, it
We
was
live
a
so many
lot.
lives in one life, don't we?
Huh?
I said we be living so many lives in one life.
Girl. All I know is I'm just crazy. I'm very anal when it comes to certain things. So I just had to have it. I just had to have it.
Yeah.
So uh here it is. Let me show you.
Oh, you found it already. You was like, oh no, wait,
I
I'm gonna
told
pull
you
it up.
I am not playing. I found it. I found it. I found it.
Yes, please
Um
let me see this.
I think I have another. I'm gonna see if I have another picture to show how the front actually looks. But
Mhm.
remember?
Yes. Oh my God. That's so wild. Wait, can you zoom in on it? I definitely did cross. That's
You
crazy.
Yeah, you actually did like sewing. It almost looked like you know how to like cross stitch.
But what's crazy is I don't. But like, I mean, I've never done it. I've never done embroidery. Ashley has, and I believe our mother used to, but
So
I
what
never
made
have.
you?
I
Because
don't.
you didn't say I can't do it. You just
So okay, you want to hear the funny story about that though? Like, over the last couple years, before I started shifting and doing the sweaters and stuff, I stopped saying yes to everything. I stopped taking
me too.
custom orders because of that exact reason. People be like, "Can you make this?" I'd be like,
Yep.
"Yes." I ain't looked at no pattern.
Yep.
I ain't looked at what it took. I
Yep.
didn't look at how big, how the size, nothing. I just said yes. And I would make them, but some of those projects really made me miserable. And at a
Yep.
certain point, I was like, okay, that I can't let the hustle or the need for money kill my craft and my passion for this. So I need to stop and figure out what it is I want to make. And that's where this whole shift into the whole granny square
Mhm.
items came from because I got quiet taking custom orders and started deciding what I actually wanted to make. But that's why, yeah, because it was like, yeah, sure. Like somebody's done it, it can be done. And in my head, I was like, okay, the stitches are stable. I can just put the picture around it because the idea of like I wasn't familiar with it. So now I think at that point I might have known about the dude, what's his name? I can't remember the dude who does crochet by numbers. You know,
Oh,
the
Todd.
yes.
Todd. Yeah.
So I feel like I was familiar with him and his work at that point, but it wasn't like it didn't cross over in my head like, oh, this is how I could do these words on the dress. You get what
Oh,
I'm saying? Like I didn't put that together yet at that time. It was just like, put the yarn on.
gotcha, 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 gotcha. Because honestly, I had no idea how you was going to do it. I was just like, let me see if she could do it because, like I said, I'm real extra. I'm very extra, and I think that's the reason why I started doing more of the graphghand because I could do
Yeah,
anything I want to do, like
yeah,
anything I want, I can do
yeah.
it with graphghand, and no one can stop me. Like I
But
get
you want to know what's
outfit.
wild? Also, is like when you said you saying I didn't know how you were gonna do it. I just knew I wanted it that way. I feel like it's like that's almost the gift and the curse of handmade and when people do custom orders because I feel like literally people be like, "Oh, that's made with yarn. Bemi could do it," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Yes.
but no. Like I'm not trying to make everything fall back. Like, and
Exactly.
it's literally the oddest concept to me that people will watch. Like, I'll post something and they'll be like, "Ooh, that looks great. Can you do mine like this?" Like, don't you see what I'm making right there?
Yes. And I get that all the time. Or I get, oh, you could do it. You're creative. You, yeah. I'm not even worrying about it. Go ahead. And that's either crocheting or graphing. Like sometimes I'm
Mhm.
like, that's pressure. They don't understand. That's so much pressure when somebody say, "Oh, I want you to do Gracie, do Gracie's corner, but I want my daughter's name to be on it with Gracie's Corner's logo,
With the
and
same
I want this."
lettering.
But the crazy thing is, I do it. I figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
I just figure it out. I don't know. I
Or
don't
like,
know. But
ooh.
like you said, it is a blessing and a curse. It is.
Mhm. Yeah.
What do you like to do more? Do you like to do like clothing? Because I know your thing is granny squares, but
Mhm.
what do you like to do more? Is it clothing or blankets and or pillows? Like what do you like to do more now?
Blankets. I'm obsessed with blankets. It's like again that the cross and that for me though is the market to actually because it's a lot of work. I don't think people realize. And not only is it a lot of work though, what I've had to learn and remember and what I've had friends literally like shout in my face about. These are legacy pieces we're creating.
Yeah.
These are things that literally, if they're treated well and respected and held on to, they have
Yes.
lifetimes worth of a life to live. And so what you're paying for in the moment, yeah, you could go to Target and buy a blanket for $40. But when you toss that out the back accidentally out the van and lose it somewhere or whatever, or the dog pee on it, whatever, like that's not going to be the same thing as this handmade thing that was personalized by the colors that somebody wanted, the name that they wanted, the design they want, the message, the energy, like
Mhm.
that's a whole different thing. And so you can't pay me every lifetime for that, but it's worth that. And I'm not going to charge you what it's really worth, but I'm definitely going to charge more than what you're going to pay off the shelf. And like,
Because I know you had it, and many of us crocheters had it, especially when you give a price and they be like, "Oh, I could get that from Walmart." Go ahead, boo. And then they come back, I can't get that from Walmart because you can't. You can't get crochet, custom crochet from anywhere unless somebody is hand making it.
mhm,
There's no machine that can create it. There's someone who is going to make it. And if you want it to be your own colors, like you said, or your own, like, special touch, and that's why I love graphghans because I can make it an image or whatever,
mhm,
then you just got to pay for it. And people have to understand paying for it, that's a keepsake for the rest of your life. But there are people that I've gifted that did not appreciate it.
yeah,
And it was one person who threw out the blanket in front of me. Now, it was not right then and there when I gave it to them. I gave it to them like a year prior. And the child was like maybe 12 and always had it, always used it. Instead of saying there's a hole in it, like my son used it so much that there's a little hole in it, instead of saying, "Can you fix it? Is there a way to fix it?" She literally threw it out in front of me, never said not one thing. And I felt like, wow. Now it was in the beginning when I first started, so of course it was like some loose ends. I didn't know how to like tuck it in, and so I was
yeah,
gifting because I wanted to practice. So I was gifting people, children. I like
Yeah.
to give to children. So I was gifting all the kids that I've known, friends who had kids, all of them, I gave them something. And that particular friend that I gave it to threw it out in front of me. And the thing is, I looked and then I double took and then I looked again and I'm looking in the garbage. She didn't even look at me. She just threw it in the garbage, turned around and walked out the kitchen. And I'm like, wow, she
Right.
was my roommate at that time. So it was
Yeah.
very tense
Yeah.
because I felt some type of way. But I was like, you know what? Since that day, I was very careful on who I gifted.
Hmm.
I was very, very, very careful. So have you gifted family? Gifted family, but you won't get ever gift again.
You know what? I have over the years. I definitely have. Oh, excuse me. Given pieces. I especially when I started doing the beanies, like, and that became my thing. Like, I love just handing people a beanie. To be honest, like, all the babies. I laugh because, when Xander was born, of course,
Mhm.
that was a whole journey for all of us, but I really hit like a low where I was doing refunds and everything because I couldn't
Keep
focus
it up.
on
Yeah.
orders. But like I laughed because by the time he was healthy and home, he had everything. Like he had whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like he had like them little puzzle balls that I used to make. He has like two or three of them still to this day.
You and your sister Monique make uh amigurumi. That's how you pronounce it, right? You
Amigo.
guys kill that. I'm just not into it.
Well, I'll give her that. That's all her. Not so whimsy. On social
Yeah,
media.
I'm gonna put her up there too.
Well, she is. Look and hit her up. She need to be an episode.
Heck yeah.
Um,
Heck
cause
yeah.
yeah, that's her thing. I've done it in the past, but again, I definitely started recognizing the time and effort I was putting into it and realizing like, okay, yeah, I'm not trying to hit nobody over the head with my prices, but the truth is this little thing takes a lot of my life to create. And so if I'm going to put that much energy into it, it has to be financially worth my time. And not saying that there aren't people who would pay for it. I just feel like I was also going through the journey of like really finding my target market and finding like what my style is and the things that I want to create. So yeah,
Yeah.
even though I've had this back and forth with people over like pricing and stuff like that, it definitely has not jaded me to the experience. Honestly, now I'm just, working on bigger markets. You feel me?
And we're gonna talk about some of that in a few, but
Yeah.
I also wanted to mention too that when you are trying, like when you crochet and you're trying to find your target, your market, and your niche, it sometimes get to the point where like you just do a little bit of everything just so that you can see what you like. And
Hmm.
I noticed that with graphganning, some people like it and they see that it's like, oh my gosh, I like that, but then it's overwhelming for a lot because I've been doing it since 2011 and I noticed, I literally see it. I noticed some people go in, like
Hmm.
full head in, feet,
Hmm.
everything, and just doing it, and then stop
Hmm.
and then
Yeah.
don't go back to it. And I saw, and not only did I see all of this, it's like a evolutional change for me because in the beginning I had more of a Caucasian type of like audience, and then it started merging into like international, where I
Hmm.
had people from Africa, people from Norwegian, like it was a merge of different people learning this, and now it's more African Americans, young African
Hmm.
Americans who come to me now. But I noticed that what I create as a graph has changed so much. I used to
Hmm.
do cats, dogs, um, a symbol here or a symbol there. And I am actually going to say I am a pioneer of creating the designs where you are like mixing and matching and creating.
Hmm.
No one did that. Everyone just went on Google and found a picture and just graphed it. I can't do that. I
Yeah.
can't go in there because everybody's gonna have the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's why what I would do is I would take like 5 pictures and mix match and like take this
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
and take
Yeah.
that out and then make this and make that. And that's why people come to me and say, "Oh, can you create that Gracie's Corner with my child's name, the same logo, but this in the back and this on the side?" And I
Right.
love it, but it is a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. But I'm saying all of that to say, when it comes to graph ganning, you started it. What made you start graph ganning?
So it's funny because again, now I'm like even looking back at that bag again, I'm like, when did I feel like just this idea of being able to like you said, paint your own picture almost has always been appealing to me. But I definitely feel like early on in what looked like my crochet career, when I started like actually selling stuff for people, um, I didn't feel like I had any room to like explore the things I wanted to do. Um, and then And that's funny because that was also the window of time when I started crocheting again. So I started when I
Uh,
was like 6,
yeah.
but in my teens and like early 20s, I stopped. And then later in my 20s, a friend of mine's mom was like working on a scarf one day, just like a ripple scarf. And I was like, what you doing? What's that pattern? And she like told me what she was doing. And I went to grandma's house. I went to Grandma Joyce's house, like, you got some yarn and crochet hooks? Which of course the
Of
answer was yes.
course. Yes.
Of course the answer was yes. And then from there, that's what Uncle Peter was the first one who was like, "Can I buy one of those from you?" And so that's what like really started getting me into selling my stuff. And so then, because I'm saying this because it wasn't too long after that that you learned and started crocheting. And when you were doing the grass and stuff, I was like, "Ooh, I want to do that. I want to do that." So I started reaching out to you to have you make me grass, which is crazy because I had hella grass that never happened because I felt like I was just under this like again the doing all the custom orders and stuff.
You
And
actually had a at that time because I remember your mind was saying you wanted to do all of this stuff. Like you were saying, I have this idea, and can you make this for me? And I believe it was the African symbols you
the
had wanted
adventure
to do.
symbols.
So you
Yep.
was like, "Listen, I'll
Yep.
pay you like every so often to give me like all of them, but give me like 3 of them at a time." And then, but I remember the very first one I think you did was the Baltimore pillow.
So I never actually ended up making that one.
You did.
No, I got both of the grass, but I never made the Raven one. I made the Panthers one.
That was the Panther.
It was. And I listen, there's a whole story behind that Panthers one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know why I thought it was Ravens. Okay.
Because I had you make both of them for me because I had every
Yes.
intention. I had both the grass, but I never got my hands on the Raven one. But
Hmm.
that speaking of that bloodline, Joyce and Jean, um, Uncle Hugh had requested a pillow, a Carolina Panthers pillow from me, and that's why I asked for the pattern. And I asked for the Ravens, like, oh, I might as well get that as well. And
Okay. Okay. That makes
Uncle Hugh sent me two $20 bills in an envelope in the mail. He just put my address and put two $20 bills in a piece of paper and mailed it to me. Because he asked me how much, and I was like, I don't know, $40, whatever, right? Because I had no concept of what this process was going to take me to do, right? Again, I just would say yes to everybody. And so me and my timing in my life, Uncle Hugh kept reaching out to me. Did you get it done? You got it done? Yeah, you get it done. And he transitioned. He passed away, and I had not gotten that pillow done. And I felt terrible. I felt absolutely horrible. I was on the phone crying with my cousin with his daughter. and she said, "Just make it and send it to Mama, to Aunt Belle. Just make it, send it to Mama." And so I was like, okay, feeling like crap. I made the pillow and I sent it to her. And when she got it, the Panthers were in a playoff run at that time. They were having a really good season. They made it into the playoffs. So, approximately a year after Uncle Hugh's death, and literally it was like within a couple days, her children took her out to Cleveland to her daughter's house who lived out there. They all did this big trip and they went to a Browns game against the Panthers. They said when she got there, they realized the only thing she had paraphernalia wise was this pillow up under her arm that she kept with her every single game of the season. She would sit with her pillow and watch the games. So when they brought her all the way out to Cleveland to the game, all she had was the pillow. They bought her a jersey at the game. They had goalpost seats. They were right underneath the goalpost. And the very first touchdown of the game, and I didn't know this part. I thought Cam Newton had scored the touchdown. He didn't. The very first touchdown of the game, somebody else scored. Cam went and got the ball from them and ran it straight to the crowd and handed it right up into the stands to Aunt Belle.
Wow.
Mona, you didn't know that?
No.
Well, there's pictures of her too. Austin handed it right to her, right in the crowd. So much so that the people, you could see it. The lady, it's a little white lady with the Cleveland Browns jersey on, like, oh, like they thought that he knew her. They was like, because clearly they these country folks with the North Carolina accent all the way up here in Cleveland, they really thought that they had like they knew them because they Panthers fans. They
Right.
was like, no, we never met that man a day in our life. And so yeah, that was so I have a friend who told me that I need to recreate that pillow and write the story and send it to him. And I intend
That's
to
a
one day.
great idea. Can I redo the graph though? I'm
Yeah,
serious.
yeah.
Like,
Let's
I'm dead serious. Like, I make a lot of changes and since then now. Like,
no, it's cool. Yeah, we can run it because I mean that's the original. Because I ain't even gonna hold you. I did. I think it was single crochet. I'm looking at it. It was single crochet, and I stuffed it with polyfill. So even my process is different now. You know what I mean?
mhm.
I'm using insert pillows and
And that I was
half
told was
double
way
crochet.
better than just stuffing with the polyfiller. I
Oh
was told that. I never done it though, but I was told
yeah.
that. I
But I
think
mean,
it
just
is.
the concept because I mean, ultimately, eventually, is the stuffing will come out. Like it's not like it's gonna come flowing
Right.
out, but it's still open weave. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was well, actually, a while ago, like a long time ago, I met someone online who gave me a pillow. She wanted to make me a pillow, and it just so
hmm
happened when I got it, it was around a time where I was kind of sick. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, so
hmm
she gave me a pillow because she was deaf. So she put a sign on it that said, I love you. And then on the other side, it had my name on it and it was purple and white because purple is my favorite color. And what she did was, and this was so creative, it was a actual pillow, but she made a pillow cover.
hmm
So it actually had on the back, it had like a flap with buttons. So you could
hmm
take it off, wash it,
hmm
and put it back. And I thought that was so creative that
Yeah.
I said, I want to do it myself. I've never done it, but I do want to try. I want to do more pillows. I don't
Mhm.
really do pillows. I do more tote bags and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
don't do pillows, but I think now you're making me want to do pillows since I saw something that.
I'm trying to get more into that whole home decor. Like I want yarn everywhere. Like granny chic is a vibe. Like people want like this
You
whole
say granny chic?
granny chic. You know, girl, granny chic is a wave now. Everybody like literally is the whole concept and trend of like basically is thrifting, but like on your whole life level, like your home,
Oh
your
no, I'm
aesthetic,
okay.
but that's But that's the thing is like I love like I'm here. First of all, I decorate my apartment like grandma's house anyway, for real. Like I feel like people call me a grandma, and I'm like, oh my god, thank you.
You love it.
Oh
I'll
my
be
god.
like, I'm okay, thank you. I actually never liked crochet.
Mm,
I
hmm.
thought that it was because all I saw was older people do it. So when Aunt Jean came to me and said, "Come to the library and crochet with me and the girls," but the girls weren't the girls. The girls were like 70, 80. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Aunt Jean, no, you do understand. I'm in my 30s. Like, I'm early 30s at that. I was like 31, 32. So I'm like,
Right.
no, I'm okay. And she asked me over and over and over, and I'm like, I don't know about that, Aunt Jean, nah. But she was very persistent, and the reason why is because I found out that my mom told her to get me out the house. I was depressed at that time. Again, that was around
Yeah.
the time I had not breast cancer. I had breast cancer before that, but
Right.
I
Yeah.
was still in the depressed state of after having breast cancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Just going through like, okay, what the hell is life now? Like,
Yeah, because I had it when I was in my 20s. So
yeah. Yeah.
in my 30s, I was still trying to find myself and I was very depressed. I was very depressed. A lot of people didn't know it, but I
Hmm.
was. And my mom, of course, knew it. So she kept saying to Aunt Jean, get her out the house, get her out the house, because she knew that I listened to Aunt Jean. And
Yeah.
she kept saying, get whatever you have to do, get her out the house. And one day she told me, she was like, look, your mother wants me to get you out the house. So
So
I was like, all right.
come get with this yarn. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I did. I went to the library and it changed my life because I love helping people and doing things for people. The library was doing little blankets, hats, scarves, and stuff for South Dakota.
Mm.
So they showed like pictures of the people that uses the blankets and stuff. Then they sent it every single year. So I was like, okay, let me
Oh,
learn.
that's like a regular thing.
They did it every year,
Hmm.
and it was about that time that they sent it to the hospital because they also made it for like the babies in the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought that was the like really cute thing, so I found a way to learn how to do it. The thing is, it didn't take me long to learn, but I'm opposite. I learned the hard things first because I had no idea how to do a granny square. I was doing pocketbooks and bags, and I was doing everything else that was more complicating
Right. Right.
rather than the simple things. So I kind of learned backwards, but
Hmm.
on Jean is that push that got me into to do it. And then that's when I started doing my own thing with the graphghans. And she brought me back to that library and said, look at what my niece did. Like she done took off.
Right.
Like
Right.
she didn't even know how to hold a hook before. Now look at her. And that just started my mission to trying to do something to get myself out of the situation I was in because I was very depressed. I was not
Yeah.
working at that time because I was disabled.
Yeah.
And it was just the perfect storm basically. It was like
Hmm.
the perfect thing that came and fell on my lap. I want to go right now because I pulled it up. I want to go on your Instagram.
Hmm.
I want to show the latest things that you have done that has taken off. Now, remember, like, I think it was like last month. No, the month I remember it was 20, April 20,
420
the
was it
day we
420?
talked. And I remember saying something to you because I wrote it down in my book and I'm like, uh, my cousin about to take off. She about to take off. And I'm like, do I tell her? Like we spoke a little bit about it, and I'm like, do I tell her? Do I not tell her? I'm like, no. Because when we know things, we block our blessings sometimes. Like we get nervous
No,
or
it's still overwhelming. It's happening, and I have to keep saying to myself in my face, like, no, for real, this is happening. This your life, but it's still overwhelming. So I
and we
understand that.
spoke about it. And it like it was crazy because it was almost like 30 days later after everything just started happening for you, and I was so proud of you because we literally, I think I even asked you, I said, you see all these people, you live in Baltimore and you see all these people, what happened? Like, why are you not where, like, you could be blowing up? Like, I remember asking you that question, like, why are you not blowing up?
And I asked the same question. But what's crazy is, I'll tell you, even the response that I've gotten from people in reference to, like, everybody's feedback is like, duh. Yeah, it was just a matter of time. And I was like, "Eh."
It's in, I believe it's divine timing. Because if it's not divine timing, it's not gonna last. It'll be like a one hit wonder. It would be something that will make us or break us. And I
Mhm.
believe divine timing is lasting, everlasting, and it's also um changing lives. It
Mm,
changed lives. But
mhm.
I'm going here now because at that time you showed me something that you didn't really show to many people, so I felt special. And yeah, so this is um a little piece of what you did. You did a jacket and you have Lizzo wearing the jacket. How the hell did that happen? How? Like,
Yeah. So
what made that happen?
I, like you said, divine timing and life just lining itself up. So yeah, I decided about a year ago when I was staying with a friend and wasn't working and wasn't really getting scheduled at my job and didn't know where I was going next. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm making myself a granny square sweater for my birthday. And so that's what I did for my birthday, May 9th of last year. And then Lizzo announced her concert, and I was like, let's see, when you coming to Baltimore? And I looked it up, and it was May 9th, 2023, my 40th birthday. And I was like, okay, so I got to make her a sweater. Like, I don't know, it was just instantly in my head. Like, I made myself a sweater for my birthday. I'm making her one for what a lot of people don't realize, her birthday. Her birthday is not May 9th, but it is April 27th. She's a Taurus, like myself, like my baby. So that was just, it just felt like it was kismet, right? And so I didn't know any like I literally had no concept of what it was going to be at that time. I just knew I'm making this happen. And months kept rolling by and I was like, I'm making this sweater. I'm going to make this sweater. And also the other part of it, what a lot of people don't realize, and that's a dot dot dot, because I still have a way to get something to her in the future. But Janet Jackson's concert was later that same week as well. Hers was May 13th, and her birthday is May 16th. So the intention was to create something for both of these ladies. That was the plan. So when I say Lizzo, because I feel like I'm remiss to leave out Janet because she was a part of that plan as well. But um Lizzo did a Saturday Night Live performance, December 2022, and she reenacted the Blue Monday art piece that many of us know, famously done by the artist Annie Lee, who is just well known. Many of us have seen her artwork for years, especially in the Black community, on TV and in our homes, and may not have necessarily known who she was, but just knew we were familiar with this art. And so, seeing that Blue Monday piece and seeing Lizzo on stage, knowing how she is and who she is when it comes to speaking for people, that just felt really significant to me. And I was like, okay, that's it. Like that's the shot. And so then I now had an anchored idea. Okay, so now I'm gonna use this picture for the back of it. And so going forward, I was looking for work. I'm a bartender and I didn't, I needed more work. And so CFG Bank Arena, which is the big arena in Baltimore, was hiring. And being a bartender, I was like, wait a minute. You mean where Lizzo and Janet Jackson's concerts are gonna be? Get me in there. And so I got hired as a premium suite bartender. There's other shots. There's shots in the back on that post also if you want to scroll
Oh, okay.
through that. And so yeah, I in the meantime got hired as I was saying on that same post, the one you would
Oh,
just one is like multiple pictures on the one. Yeah, that one on the right.
okay,
Mhm.
okay. I got it.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. There you go. And so yeah, I got hired as a premium suite bartender in the arena. And I don't know, I say my strategy at that point was I just started running my mouth.
Oh,
Like I do well. I don't think there was anybody I came across who didn't know that my birthday was on Lizzo's show and that I was creating this sweater and I had every intention for her to have it. And so I did meet a few people at a certain point who were like, bring it, you're gonna be here that day, bring it. All right, cool. Um, but also moving forward, I don't know if a lot of people realize Lizzo had actually been ill for a couple tour dates in this concert. So there was a point in time where she actually canceled the show. She had a mask on, like people were speculating, does she have COVID and everything? She ended up finding out she had strep throat, but she
mm,
canceled two back-to-back dates. These two back-to-back dates were the two previous ones prior to her Baltimore show. So we were literally all on pins and needles, like,
mm-hmm.
is it happening? And she made a post. I got up and ate and worked out today. Baltimore is looking good. And we were like, yeah, let's go. Um, so I was also still feverishly finishing the sleeves at
Like we all do.
that point. Oh, because there was a whole, I ran out of that denim color of yarn. That red heart denim yarn,
Yeah.
I ran out. And I ordered some from Amazon. And Amazon has a new thing now where they don't show you your date, your expected delivery date. I guess unless you have Prime, because I
Yeah,
don't.
I had prom.
And they don't show me your expected delivery date until you place your order. If you do it the regular way, if you just do regular mail. So the expected delivery date for 6 skeins of that denim red heart yarn was May 9th, the actual day of the show. And I was like, so that's not gonna work. Um, and this color is is discontinued. The color is no longer available.
What?
So it was in the process of phasing out. So the closest yarn location for me, I bought the last of the schemes. The last of them were already on there. So I had to get my brother-in-law to buy some skeins from the Bel Air location for me and bring them to me. He brought me two. And when I say I was, I almost was too short with them too, but I squaz the rest of that yarn out. And yeah.
Wow.
So I brought the sweater with me that day. I had it. Very first dude I ran into, I knew it was somebody who worked in operations. I'm like, I got this sweater. He's like, I'm going backstage right now. I'll ask her production team, where you going to be? He knew which bar where I was. He came back. He said, I'm sorry. She been sick. They said no. I was like, all right, cool. Not a problem. I just kept running my mouth all night, showing customers. I had it laid out on the back of the bar. And at some point in time, an exec in our building was standing there talking to me, and he and I are cool. He had been out of town for a couple of weeks. We were just talking about what he'd been doing, and we could hear her. And she was talking to guests at the show. She was talking to people, and she was taking presents right then and there. And I'm like, see, he said, take it down there, run it down there. I said, they not gonna let me leave this post and go down to the state. Like, that's not gonna happen. He said, do you want me to take it? I said, yes. And I just handed him the bag. And like I said, I'm a bartender at the arena. So I was working. Like I was,
Mm-hmm.
we had, it was last call. So I was closing the bar. It was closing down. But still, I still had to clean up and stuff. So I'm listening and I hear her say, now, who did you say make this? Your mother? And I'm like, oh, I'm not his mom, right? But then I hear people like, yep, they're like yelling, like yelling. I'm like, what is happening? And I run around. And that particular show, I was working at our bar called Center Stage. Center Stage is exactly what it sounds like.
Center stage.
You walk in, you see Center Stage. So I walk in and she's on the big screen with the sweater on. And I was like, oh
Ah.
my God. Oh my God. And I'm like, and I could hear coworkers and people literally around me, like, she's right here. I can hear like the people in the crowd because again, I was working Center Stage. So the guests sitting in that area were at my bar all night. So
Right.
they're like, she's right here, Bemi, she's here. Um, which later in other, I have friends who sent me videos. Like I have a friend who was there, whose birthday was also that day, and we went to high school together. So like back in high school, we used to buy each other. It was like three or four of us where we would buy each other like balloons and cards and all bring them to school. So we'd be like we're all gonna celebrate together. So
Yeah.
she was coming in town for the show. So I met her, her husband, her homegirl, like her friend that took a picture of me with the sweater. Like everybody was like all in. Everybody was like, "This is happening. This is for her." And
Aw.
so yeah, I can hear all of them like she's upstairs working in all of their videos. Like everybody's like yelling. And so yeah, she put it on. I had written her a handwritten note. She read it on stage, the entire note. There's a point in time where literally I can see in one of the videos where she flips it over, I can read my handwriting. Like, so I was just in awe, screaming and crying. People are like, oh my God, happy birthday. Like, everybody's like, it's her, this is hers. And so she starts doing other stuff. Like, somebody handed her a trans flag and she holds it up and she's taking pictures. Whole time she still got the sweater on though.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't take it off. She got down on all fours and took selfies with people by the side of the stage, sweater still
Mm-hmm.
on.
I saw some of
Then she gets up and she like starts taking it off and says, I like this cardigan, y'all. I think I'm gonna keep this cardigan on now. And starts like, and I hear the track playing, and I'm like, I know she's not. I know. And she sang good as hell in
she
it.
did. Yeah.
And she sang good as hell in it. And then she didn't, and people were like, and she wore it for the rest of the show. She did not. She went in the back, she took it off. She came back out, she did a couple more songs. But literally, like it was like when I say a couple, it was like two or three. Like this was definitely the end of the show. And yeah.
Did
Um,
she keep it?
yeah, no, I mean it's hers.
It
I
was
don't
hers.
know.
Oh.
Yeah, like that's her sweater. Um, I don't know, like, and so then of course people were like, "Have you heard from her?" And blah blah blah. She's literally still on tour right now. She just posted. She overseas somewhere. Like she has been nonstop from before
Mhm.
that and still to this point. And so yes, she said that like first of all, he said his mom because he didn't want to say the bartender in the back because we were still playing that gray line.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is this a lot? Because that's my job, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, this is what I do, and I sell it, but that's my money. Like, that's where I go to work.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be there on Friday. So, you know, he didn't want to like risk me getting in trouble, but at the same time, you know, she said thank you to him. You know what I'm saying? She read the whole note. She left it on. She's Lizzo. She's very aware of what opportunity that became for the person who created it. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? There's no way in hell that she didn't know that leaving this on while she sang this song was not a major opportunity or boost for whoever this person was.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So there's that. And also, I mean, okay, like I don't know. I don't always look at everything so black and white like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I get it.
I guess people have their expectations of what is right or how you're supposed to do things and I mean, but that's all it's nature and nurture, right? Like we were all raised in different households with a different
Mm-hmm.
journey and a different perspective and a different set of parents and a different set of trauma and fun and joy or whatever. So, You know what I mean? Like I don't necessarily like I'm not sitting here like, where my thank you note? Where my phone call? Didn't you see my IG on there? Why you not following me? Like I don't I I wanted to be honest with you, I was just glad that she was able to leave that arena with
Right.
a comfortable piece on her body because that woman was sick. She got out on the stage and she sang her ass off. She sang her. Let me. Lizzo puts on a motherfucking show. Let me just. She puts on a show. She is like I've always been a fan of her, but it wasn't like, oh, I need to go to a Lizzo show. I didn't. She performs. She puts on a
Okay.
I wonderful. I mean, wonderful. Her
Nice.
voice is amazing. Like yeah. If she come to your town, go see her for real.
I
And
know
she,
Beyonce came.
oh yeah, Beyonce is blessing everybody's city.
Yeah,
And
Beyonce. A couple of people I know went. My sister actually went.
I know a couple people who went to Paris and saw her out there. Um,
Really? I'm not really a crazy fan of going to concerts and stuff. I'm not
mm,
really too into it. The last one I went to was Prince, and you know he passed a long time ago. So
oh,
that was, yeah, that was one of the last ones when he stopped doing the tours and stuff. I actually was
we
blessed to go see him, and that was just it. Like I don't really do that. But what I did want to ask you also too was, um so did this give you that push that you needed that we spoke about that day?
yeah. It definitely shifted some things for me in my life. So the first question a lot of people always ask, aside from did she thank me, was like, "Oh, I bet you getting a bunch of sales now." Which, keeping a cold hundred, not really, right? Like it wasn't like I went and exploded and people were blowing me up. But what it did was it gave me a lot of drive and the catalyst behind anchoring some of that stuff that I needed to for myself, as far as like having my Etsy page back active, having my domain name available, having, you know what I'm saying, having set prices for the stuff that I was still like, you know what I mean? Really getting definitive on some of that stuff. And it definitely opened the doors. I'm not saying it wasn't orders. I definitely got orders from people and stuff, Um, and then like I said, open the door for other opportunities where I'm now officially a part of the gifting process at my job through our branding
You
department.
said the gifting. That's
The
what it is.
gifting, so it's through the branding department. So when artists tour and visit different venues, it's a part of their, it's a part of the thank you for them coming. You know what I mean? Like, gonna
Oh,
take the
so
whole,
that's a great idea.
and so
Okay.
that's literally like that's a top down thing. Like that's something that goes on in venues. Like that's what
I
they
never knew that, but
do.
that's a great thing. And then for you to do it, and they pay you well, right?
Yeah. Yep. So
Okay.
I'm
So
well, so of course I, like I said, I work there as a bartender, but this is me. You know what I mean?
that's,
Like
yeah,
I'm
that's
being contracted. So they pay what the invoice says.
that is, like I said, I saw something. I just was able, I said it was going to come. I just wasn't sure what opportunity it was going to be. I wasn't sure if it was going to be Lizzo or anything else, but I just knew something was going to happen because I just kept seeing you. And I think that was another reason why I kept saying to you, why didn't it happen? Because, and as we talk, I just see it. I don't know why, I just see it. It just comes. And we had that also talk about uh like using this and having a blessing and moving, certain places and whatever. And I think that at being a crocheter, a lot of people don't look at the opportunities that you have. A lot of people don't look at it as we look at it as a business, period. But
Mhm.
it's so much more to a business of crocheting, because I just can't make, and I'm gonna be so honest, and a lot of people may not like it, but I just can't see myself creating blankets all my life. And I don't see me even making the money that I need to make a living just by creating blankets. It's just
Mhm,
not going to happen for me. It's
mhm,
not going to happen. Some people say it do, but from what I have been asking, and I ask a lot of people, and I've done this podcast with so many people, they may have 200,000 followers and say, I only do this for fun. They don't really make money from it, because to actually make a living crocheting is not really a lucrative business. It's not going to get you that six figures that people think. What will get the six figures, and this is what I'm doing now, is multiple things, and multiple forms of streams of income, and multiple things that's centered around crochet, not just
mhm.
crocheting. And I can't see myself crocheting all day every day, because that will, my mind will just put me in a position where I'll stop. I don't even want
Mhm.
to do it anymore, because it will make
Yeah.
me feel like I'm gonna not like it anymore, because it's work, it's hard. But to do the podcast, to do the graphs, to do the crocheting, and I also do other things like I teach, and I also do like coaching and stuff like that. So the different forms of income can put you up there, but to actually do crochet won't. Well, do you think that can happen for you? Like just making these six
Excuse me.
figures. Do you think that can happen for you?
Well, it's interesting because, like you said, I definitely that again back to when I cut off all custom orders and was like, wait, I'm only making these beanies because it really was that like that I had to like process that concept of like I can't physically create enough things to generate enough money to sustain my lifestyle with these two
Mm,
hands. That's not going to happen. It doesn't matter what new brilliant idea I think to start creating. None of those things are going to give me that because I literally have to sit on my butt with a hook needle in my hand 24/7 and I still wouldn't get it. So, um I definitely do feel like now, especially because like well, like I mean, I don't, it's funny though. Also, I've realized how many people don't know all of the parts of the story. But marketing and PR and public relations is like my career goal for a while. So like, I interned at a couple different labels in the past, and like I've worked with different labels in the music industry. I've done background work and PA work on different movie sets and TV shows and things like that. Um, and it just feels like that's just always aligned with my life, right? Like somehow, some way, like whether it was me working security at the Georgia Dome and being at the entrance for the players, or working in the arena and being in the premium suites and like seeing the governor and meeting him the second date. Like I always find myself in these spaces where celebrities or entertainers are, right? It's just it aligns. And so realizing like, oh, okay, so if you need like what's your demographic really? Like who's your target market for real? And
mm,
like I love the beanies. I honestly feel like that's a part of my life. Like they're always gonna be a thing. Although going forward, I'm gonna be limiting like the colors that I put out each season. Because I'm not about to try to make all the hats and all the colors. That's not gonna sustain me. And like you said, mentally, that's actually just gonna put me in a really bad place with all of it. So like I'm definitely like fine tuning like what that's even gonna look like for me. And definitely jumping in with like doing these custom art pieces for real. Like that's what I feel like there would literally was a certain point where I said to myself, like, I'm an artist.
mm-hmm,
And that felt like the turning point for me, right? Like, because artists don't create 20 different paintings of the same painting. You get what I'm saying? They
mm-hmm.
make one. They charge $6,000 for that. They put it on a wall and it sits there until somebody write their $6,000 check. You get what I'm saying? Like straight up. Like,
Yep.
and so that's how I really started to view this. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, this is art. Um, I'm gonna create what I want to create, what I feel moved to create. If that aligns with what you want me to create, then we in business. If it don't, you know, thank you for your interest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm no longer so, and I feel like that's what's opening up where the funds and the financial stability will actually come from, because I'm not chasing every dollar available. I'm anchoring myself and making myself available for what's actually going to give me my work.
That's
So,
actually what's going to give you your push to be financially stable and to get you to be in the you want to be in another state. You want to move, you and your daughter. So basically that's going to get you that push, setting boundaries. And honestly, I didn't realize that for me, but setting being a crocheter, artist, whoever, setting boundaries is what's going to get you more of the opportunities that you need.
do you
And I
see this
honestly didn't
smile? I say no with a smile.
I never
Because
said
I
that.
already know, I understand their disappointment. I understand their frustration. I understand their desire. I even understand their respect and in my craft and my skills. And I also know where my peace of mind lies. And I know that sometimes that no is necessary for me to hold on to that, because every project that I take, I feel like people feel like the craziest thing in the world I've had people say to me when they've asked me to make something and I decline making. But you gonna get so many orders from it when I wear it, girl. Now why would I want to make more of it when I
Right.
said no to the one?
Right.
You could not confirm the reason why I hold fast to what I say more than that statement
Mhm.
alone. Because I don't even feel like telling a bunch of people no when you post it and tag me and tell
Mhm.
everybody to hit me up. And I got to literally start telling people no for the next week and a half. Because I don't make those. I don't make that.
I think that's where a lot of people lack too when it comes to crocheting and wanting a business. You lack that because you jump on everything. So if somebody say, oh, can you make this, you jump on it because you want the money, or you lower your standards because you want the money, or you create something that you're not even like skillful or master, and you jump on it because you want the money. And I think that's where a lot of the downfalls happen. And when you do that too, it also causes you to be late, maybe sometimes not
Yeah,
good
maybe.
at it. It looks a hot mess sometimes. So it in reality, having boundaries will not only help your mindset, it will help your business so much more. And I realized that actually within the past year, I started realizing that when you have a business, and I'm noticing this too, when you have a business and you're not beat for money, it works. And
Yeah,
that's crazy too.
yeah. Yeah, right. Because no, seriously, because when you in hustle mode and you need to eat, you like, okay, what can I sell? And somebody like, hey, can I buy this? And you're like, yeah, because you need that cash app, you need that Venmo to hit, you need that PayPal right quick. And so I also realized, like, yeah, nah, I'm just not interested. It doesn't do me well. Like you said, I'll end up having this thing in my house for months. Ask me how I know. There's still stuff out there now, and again, it's not a knock on the people who ordered it or me or anything. It's just being clear. Like, I'll give you a clear example. People keep asking me about bucket hats. People keep asking me to make bucket hats, and I'm not going to hold you. I want to make bucket hats, but you can't send me a picture today and say, "Hey, can you make me this bucket hat?" and think I'm going to produce one for you the end of this week. Can I? Yes. Will I? No. because what I've learned about what my craft is and what I am interested in doing is I need to know that this is my best product. I need to know you're gonna put it on your head, it's gonna
Mhm.
fit perfectly, the color's gonna pop. And that, like, my beanie is very basic, right? It's simple. I actually, Joyce had a hat like that in her house. Grandma had a hat.
Mhm.
I was like, can I borrow that? And she said, yeah. And I like,
Let me see your beanies.
I
This
basically deconstructed it in my mind, right? Like I didn't take it apart, but I like worked on what that pattern would be. And I gave them away. I gave them to my cousins. I gave them, there was a guy that I was dating at the time where I would give him different versions of the hat and have him try it on and wear it, and literally would ask him like, what would you want differently about that? He would say more length or this or that. You get what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so that was how I based the small size. And then a friend, not this sister, but someone else with locks like hers, reached out and was like, ooh, I want that same hat. And so I was able to scale it up and size it that she could fit it. And that's where the large size came from. And so that's when I decided, okay, I could make these for the whole family. And now I have 6 sizes. But because I
Mhm.
already had my base one to work from. And so, yeah, I could make bucket hats for folks, but ideally, I like to be able to say, okay, I'm dropping them next season because I've had time to size it, fit it together,
Mhm.
do it to myself. I know what to adjust if you got a big old head or if you got a little tiny peanut. You feel me? Like,
Mhm. Even if you're doing a pattern, because that's another thing people, a real designer or a real person who care about their art, even getting a pattern, you still want to practice with it. You still want to do it. You want to make sure that you put your own touch to it, not just
mm-hmm,
following the pattern to the T,
mm-hmm,
and then making sure the right hook, the right size, and all of that. So
mm-hmm,
I remember when you told me you was going to start these, and I remember you said that you was going to do the beanies and that you was going to do the ripple, and you said it and you did it, and I think you said it like a whole year before you even put it out because you
and
had
that's what I'm
asked.
saying. That gives me peace of mind because then I know. Like the thing is, again, those beanies. I look. Let me just snitch on myself real quick because of course we said ourselves, but this a whole like I just knocked these out. These are unfinished. I just need to stitch them, but because I can literally pick up some yarn. I know what I'm doing. I know the pattern I'm doing. If I'm making a small, I know what I need to do. If I'm making
So
a
that's
large,
for beanies.
those are beanies. Yeah.
So you just literally like sit there, crochet it, and when you ready to like assemble it, that's all you have to do.
When I leave the house, because I'm still on that good old public transportation. When
Yeah.
I leave the house, I will grab a fresh skein of yarn and my hook because
Hmm.
I can literally, even if I had one that, like, say I had one that was almost done. Well, I'm gonna finish that, and I'm out in these streets, and I'm not necessarily carrying my sisters this day or whatever the case may be. So I just grab a fresh skein of yarn and start just
Hmm.
jam out a hat while I'm moving. It's fun for me sometimes to see like how far along I got on one. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like how much I got done. But yeah, and so yeah, that's the same concept that I feel like with the other stuff. Like people reaching out for the ski masks, the baklavas, and people were asking me
Yeah.
about. I don't even want to make those because in my head I like, all right, I know I'm not making stuff for myself all the time, but I have a really, really difficult time making stuff that I don't like. And I don't want nothing on my face like that.
I actually I don't really think I would wear them, but I like making them because I had put graphghans on it. I put graphghan on everything. I put pictures on my ski mask, and
Yeah.
I was designing the images based off of the ski mask, meaning the way the ski mask was, I will put it to the side. I think it was one with like a Pac-Man, and I would put the Pac-Man as if it was eating the mouth part or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So I would design it based off of the ski mask. How I did it, I have no idea. The thing about it is me doing that it got me frustrated because again, people were saying, "Oh, can you do the Victoria's Secret logo?" Or and so that means I have to do a whole lot of creating, and then I have
Yeah.
to design it, and then I have to trial and error making it. I already know the pattern of the ski mask, but now I have to figure out how I'm going to get this logo on there and how it's going to look and what size and what.
Yeah.
And so that started frustrating me. So I had to kind of slow down making that. Unless, like you said, I decide to do five and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Right.
probably do five designs and then that's it, no more, because I left it open for anything, and that's where I went wrong. But it's about to be 7:23 and it's time to go.
On 7/23, by the way. That's why I was cheesing like that because I picked up my phone and
Oh yes. And you know your numbers.
no, that's why I was like, shut up, stop that. Because of course I
You
didn't
know
look
your
at my phone
numbers.
at all, but like I literally just picked it up and was like,
You and your numbers, girl. I'm gonna so this is your page on Instagram. I'm gonna put it in the description so that anybody who wants to follow you, follow you. You also got 555 and 3 on your
yeah,
followers.
yeah, yeah. That just it. Yes,
Yeah, girl.
they play
Yes.
with me all
Doing
day.
it.
They play. They play. It's a game. I'm clear
Yes.
on that now. It's a game.
All right. And I was also showing the latest one that you did, the graphghan with the
Yeah.
little girl. That's her dad, obviously, right?
It is. So that is D. Watkins. He was actually one of the writers for The Wire. He's a pretty re- renowned writer from here in Baltimore. And so yeah, his wife reached out. If you go a little bit further, you can actually see the reference picture at the end.
Oh,
That
on the
she
same thing.
on that same post. It's the last picture. That was
Oh,
his. Well, that was his post on Father's Day. Go one more, and that's the one that his wife sent me. So
mhm.
it was no color or anything. This is what she sent me as the
Oh.
reference picture, and so
Did she
yeah,
want you to make that, or this was just a gift?
it was a commit. It was a commission piece. No, she ordered that. That was a gift from
Oh, okay.
her to him on Father's Day,
Oh, how nice.
and that's his daughter literally saying, "That's my daddy." Like
The
that's what she's
this
saying.
is the picture you had sent me, and I was looking at it. I was like, look at her looking at it.
Because her mother, she saw her, she literally, I mean, we didn't ask her nothing. I laid it out. They were walking up and she said, "That's me." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And mom said, "And who's that?" She said, "And that's my daddy." That's what she, yeah.
Oh,
So I was like, "Oh, okay. So we see it.
yeah,
The vision is here."
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The other one you did, this one, uh,
Yeah.
is this.
Tank from Tank and the Bangers. So I put up a post too where it's just pictures of it. That's a real um let's see. If you scroll a little bit on the Papa San chair right there on the right.
Oh, right here.
The next one over. That's the video that Monique posted after. So these are pictures I took at Monique's house.
Oh, okay.
Literally while she was rushing me, like, "Come on, we gotta go," because I had just finished the trim on the sleeves and had to
Uh-huh.
change my clothes, and we were heading to the concert. Um, but yeah, that one, that if the next picture is yeah, that's the reference picture for that one. So this is the lead singer of the group Tank and the Bangers from New Orleans, and
Mhm.
that's their video "Communion in My Cup." And
This
yeah,
is the video of her putting it on, and you.
so they were playing the song. It was like the DJ. This was after their show. The DJ was playing, and the song "Cosa Kuze" was playing. So we was
Uh-huh.
already in party mode. And then after she got the sweater, she looked at me and Monique and was like, "Come on, y'all want to go on stage?"
Oh,
So we were
really? I didn't see
dancing on
that
stage.
part.
Yeah, no, because I didn't post any of it. I
Oh, I'm like, I ain't see that.
Well, so I don't know if any if a lot of people realize, but I've actually known Tank and the Bangers for about 3 or 4 years now. I've
Mhm.
gifted the whole band with beanies. At one point, I actually went to Philly to their show. I rode up there and took them all hats. Um, Whenever I show up to their show, Tank always says to me, "Oh, you brought Norm a hat today, the piano player," because he's from Baltimore. We know a lot of the same mutual people, and so I he stays hooked up with the beanies. But yeah, no, this piece was for her. Apparently, she has said it was her favorite gift so far, and
Mhm.
that other video of her on stage was the very next night after their Thursday show. She wore it. Um, she wore it for their whole performance in DC that very next night. Uh,
Oh wow!
she
Isn't
messaged
that an honor?
and she said she was like, I'm gonna wear it like this, sis, because she loved the
Wait,
picture.
I was
That's
just about to say, I know you didn't have that on the front. Why is it on the front?
because that's exactly
She
how she
wore
wanted to
it.
wear it.
Oh, so that everyone can see the picture. Oh, okay. And you are just creating all of the jackets for everybody.
The beanies, I mean the beanies, the sweaters, the Granny Square sweaters definitely took off. They took on a mind of their own um being for real once I booty.
Oh, it runs in the family. It runs in the family.
Which is so funny because we have a cousin. She probably has said it to you as well. I won't out her on her name because she's like, why yet? But she's like, I don't. The booty part missed me. I got the thighs and the legs, but I didn't get all the butt.
I don't know what cousin is that.
Calmly,
Oh, she always got something to say though. She do got thighs though.
all the legs, them bird legs. It's the legs
Yes.
for real.
Did you make that?
Those were the first pair of pants.
You made those?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how to make them.
I didn't either till I made those, and I promise you, I took some stuff out. I
You gotta tell me how to make them. I don't know how to make them.
I got you. There's another pair on there too. If you go
Another pair
scroll
of
down,
the
pants,
granny
yep.
pants.
Scroll down a little bit. Okay, right there on the right. Down.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
How the heck you do that?
Ah, so I used half granny squares for the top and the top row and those bottom rows of the legs.
That's exactly what I'm doing now for the skirt that I'm making. I'm doing
Half
half
granny.
granny squares too.
Mhm.
But
Monique was ridiculously impressed by those. Those made her very happy. She was like, "Wait a minute." I'll have to. I ain't even gonna hold you. I literally will have to like show you because I don't know, sis. I don't know.
you got such a granny vibe for real, for real.
You see, look at my couch. Like, come on, yo.
Yes, that's what I said. You got such a greeny vibe.
And the plants in here, like, I don't think you understand. Like, I'm here for it. Although my room gonna be real spicy. You see all the lips on the wall. We do keep it spicy, but yes, I'm here for
Yes,
it.
yes,
Like,
yes.
I have a candy dish at my front door, and it
You
is
do?
literally a dish that is a gold container that came from. Oh yeah, let that whole video play. So the shoes were the reference. The shoes are what she wanted from me.
Oh.
So that's why I just had the hints of green. She was also a Taurus, and she wore these to Janet Jackson's show.
Oh.
That is
I see.
That's at my job. That's at the arena as well. But she wore after Lizzo's concert, that very next concert, at least 2 to 3 people wore their sweaters to the building. My coworker
Really?
wore hers. This girl wore hers to the show, and I think it was like one other person. But um, yeah, the dish is a gold dish from one friend's grandmother's house, from my friend's grandmother's house, and Actually, it's still there's still some left. The peppermints in it.
Hmm.
Um, I got the container the last time I left Grandma Joyce's house. They were peppermints.
Oh, really?
Like I asked for one out of the container, and my aunt was just like, "Here, just take a." And so,
Oh,
the
wow.
like for real, grandma vibe. Like seriously, I'm here for it. So yeah, that's the reference piece from um for the back of the sweater.
Hmm. I didn't I knew the picture, you showed me the picture, but I didn't know it was a reference piece of this. But the more I
Mhm.
looked at it, the more I was like, yes, I get it now. I get it. I get it. I get it. Oh,
And
look
that's
at the
the first
princess.
one. That's Tinka D, but of course that's the first sweater. That's the one that I made myself, the very first one for my birthday last
Oh, for your birthday last year, that's what started the
year.
whole kickoff
Yeah, that
for
is
your granny. So, all right. I already put your information in there, and I just want to say you doing that thing. You doing that. Oh, this, I remember this.
Oh, okay. So, all right, I'll drop a little fun. We're still in the process of scheduling, but like I said, I met Governor Westmore my second day of work at the arena, and because I do what I do, um, I got his attention when he walked by. We spoke, and I had a nice long conversation. I told him about Grandma Joyce.
Hmm.
I showed him the blanket. His assistant and I are currently in talks of planning and scheduling for me to present it to him at the state house.
Oh, word. Nice.
And a cute, so I add little Easter eggs to all of my pieces. I just the personalized parts. So the teal out border, the reason why I use that color is because his campaign flags, that was the color around the state of Maryland. So
Okay.
the state of Maryland was outlined in that turquoise color. And so that's why I outlined the state in it, the flag. And I also got a little grandma's little tote of yarn, the little bundles of yarn and pencils and pens she used to have next to her bed. I have that.
Okay.
So there is a bundle of red yarn of grandma's in there because of course she was born and raised in Churchville, Harford County, Maryland. And I told him just how moved and honored she would be for this black man to be in holding that office here in our state. So
Hmm.
she is very much included in the creation of that as well.
That's so cool. I'm glad you was able to do it. I remember when I did it, I didn't know what it was. Well, you told me, but I honestly didn't know um what the flag was for the state. But I'm glad you was able to do it. So now you just got to give it to him, and that right there is going to give you another leverage. He's going to love it. He's
Yeah,
going to love it.
yeah. I'm
And
actually working on getting my sister to create a display case for it. Of course, I
Ashley.
want them to use it and love it. Yeah, I'm gonna get Ashley to create something so that it can be like folded and preserved.
Oh, like a case.
Mhm.
Oh,
But I want to be able to, so like the more 23 will be. Um,
nice. Okay. Okay, that would be so nice. And he would love it. He would cherish it. He's gonna show it off. Watch.
I People keep saying the word museum around my work, so I'm like, we'll see how that
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah. It's because you do more classic, traditional. Classic, traditional, not necessarily modern, more classic, more traditional, and it will um be something that people would want to look back on because you did not take away. Like for me, I don't do traditional. So because I don't do traditional, when you want to talk about crochet and how it was in the past and how our grandmothers and great grandmothers and great, I don't do that. You do that. So it would be
But that's his own. That's still a part of the story. That doesn't make it any less significant. Like this is you gonna be somebody grandmother one day, somebody great grandmother, somebody.
okay.
Look, don't look away like that. I was like one day soon. What are you saying?
uh yeah, one day soon. I don't know. I'm not in a rush. Let him take
Oh
his time.
no, I know. I was like
Not now. No. I just the reason why I turned my head is because it was mentioned by other people because I guess I'm 45 and don't have any grandkids. So I think people are trying to force it on me. Stop forcing it on me. I don't want it right now.
45 supposed to be old for a grandma.
Actually, it's young. That's what I meant.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, why would you need any yet?
Yeah, it's young. It's very young for a granny. But it's many people my age who were
That,
grannies in 30s. So I'm
that's
old
true.
compared to others. To be honest, I'm like old. I'm
No, I
probably like
feel you.
one of those that had their kids at 37. Like,
Listen, I got a homegirl who I giggle all the time because her son is 10 years older than my child to the day. And we graduated the same, like she had him a couple weeks before we graduated. And so when my daughter just turned 12, this past May 4th, her son was turning 22 that same day.
oh,
And he's like engaged and all of this stuff. Like,
oh yeah.
you get what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
feel you, but no, I don't,
Yeah, I had my son when I was 21, so I'm good. I'm good. He's 24. Let him live his life. He's a private investigator right now. He's doing his thing. Let him live his life and be
yeah.
happy, not having to worry about no child right now. And I'm good with that. I don't want no granny kids right now. I'm sorry. I just don't.
I feel you.
Oh, with no grandkids. But I can't wait to see all the good things that's coming to you, cousin. And we need to do this again because I actually had fun. And
Mhm.
it's just impressive when we talked. And I remember 420 because I actually forgot it was 420 until somebody reminded me. But when we spoke on that day, I was like, yo, she got so many good things. And you were so like, I don't know why I can't get here. I can't in less than 30 days. Look at you. So just keep going and things is gonna look up. It's gonna keep going up and up and up and just keep that boundary. Keep the boundary and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Thank
You'll be
you.
all right. You'll be all right. So I'm gonna do this again. If you know anybody else that want to come on and chill and talk and learn about being behind the hook, because I like talking to people about what else you do besides crocheting too. So
Right.
that's what I'm all about on this podcast. And I'm about to head on out. I cooked for my niece and nephews, so I'm about to go eat
Right. Enjoy.
and
Look, send me
chillax.
that plate. That's.
Girl, and I'm actually in South Jersey, so I'm not that far from
I
you.
know. I heard you say you cooked, and I was like, I'm jealous immediately.
I
Y'all
have
be
been
throwing down,
cooking
all of
since
y'all.
I've been here. I think I've cooked more than I would cook when I'm at home, which is crazy because I don't really cook a lot when I'm home. But since I've been here, I'm house watching and babysitting for my sister.
Right.
So I'm here. It's almost like a vacation for me, even though I'm cooking for them. But
Mhm.
I don't have to like stress and worry about anything in my household or anything else. So I just had the time to just cook for my niece and nephews, and boy, do they appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Auntie Shauna. Thank you, Auntie Shauna. My niece, don't go, please. Don't leave me, Auntie Shauna. Don't leave me. I love my niece. Oh my God. That's my baby.
That's your face.
She, Siobhan had her for me. You know that, right?
No, she slam has your whole face though.
Yeah.
Like
She's mine.
that's how Monique feel about Malia, and that's definitely Fiona. That's true.
Isn't that something how it is with aunties? Aunties stealing the nieces?
Scarlett, and tell, please say something disparaging or bad or sideways about me in front of Scarlett. Imani.
Auntie, you can't mess with the aunties. You can't mess with the nieces. Aunties and nieces, it's something about them. I don't know.
Mhm.
And I don't have any girls, so like they my everything.
Yeah.
Both of my nieces, even Amari, like they my everything. But
Mm.
I am gonna go now. Thank you so much, fam.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
having
for
me.
coming on. And I can't wait to see all of the good things that's coming to you. All
Mm.
right, everybody have a good one, and we'll be back in another 2 weeks for Chronicles of Crochet Diva Behind the Hook. Have a good one. Bye.
Mhm.